Hi, how we doing? All right, so I wanted to do a quick video to help out with scales and fingerings for said scales. Now, I can't do all of them all at once, but I can do the finger positions for both the right and left hand and the patterns for each. So we're going to start with the right hand, and we're going to talk a little bit about the scale positions as well as the key signatures and what that kind of means and how that helps you. Because I think if you understand that, it'll make it easier for you to understand why you need to do what you need to do. All right, so I've had a bunch of people, some in particular, ask about how to get around on the piano, how to learn it. And there are fingerings for playing certain scales. And a lot of people don't really know those, especially people who haven't taken formal piano lessons. Not really a big deal, but it just makes moving around on the piano faster if you understand that. So anyway, all right, so let's start with the right hand. So we're going to do the C major scale. And we're just going to talk about how to play that. So the pattern, let's do a little chord progression. The pattern here is you start basically with your thumb. Now you're going to do a bit of a crossover here between E and F. Now when you're going up or going to the higher side of the piano, your thumb is going to cross under your middle finger and hit the next key. And then once it does, your pointer finger is going to land on that next key, which is G. So F is here, G is here, and then you're going to play A, B, C, and that's the end of the scale. Okay? Watch. Cross under. Now going backwards, same thing, only in reverse. So you're going to cross at the same place, only your fingers are going to go over as opposed to under. Over. Right? So let me do it one more time. Here it is. Now going back. Make sure you cross over with middle finger, pointer, and thumb. All right. Now we move to the minor keys. Now I'm going to show you a couple of different variations of minor keys because minor is one of those interesting keys. I had a theory professor that used to say that playing in minor was like being in a wormhole because you could get to kind of any key you wanted to if you understood how how it worked, right? So anyway, so the reason I mention that is because we're playing in C, right? And C minor is the relative minor for E flat major. Now here's what that means. It means you're going to play the same black keys for C minor that you would play for E flat major, right? Because E flat major, your black keys are E flat, A flat, and B flat. For C minor, your black keys are E flat, A flat, and B flat. All right. So here is what the C minor natural minor scale looks like and sounds like. Right. Now what you'll notice is that with this particular scale degree, I'm still doing the crossover, right? So my middle finger plays E, my thumb plays F, and then, or my middle finger plays E flat, my thumb plays F. I have G, and then I finish out the scale on A flat, B flat, and C, right? So it's the same crossover situation, but when you're doing a minor key, you have to be mindful of the notes that come before and or after that might be different simply because you were playing lowered scale degrees. All right, so anyway, this is how you do it. All right, so thumb on C, right hand. Right, now you're gonna play E flat, cross under, thumb on F, pointer G, then A flat, B flat, and C. And going back, cross over to E flat. All right. Now, some other variations of minor are the melodic minor, which is where you're going to play minor for the first half, major for the second half, and then natural minor going all the way down, which sounds a lot more confusing than it is, because this is what it actually is. Check it out. going back, you do flatted B flat and A flat, as well as E flat. All right, so let me do it again. Now, flat A, flat B, flat E. All right. Now, the next scale we're going to do is the C harmonic minor scale. Now, for this one, we are going to play A flat, but instead of playing B flat, we're going to play B natural. When you play in harmonic minor keys, it basically just means that you raise the pitch of the 7th scale degree. So if in natural minor, it's lowered to a B flat. Harmonic minor, it's raised to a B natural in this particular case. Depending on the scale, it just means you're going to play the next key over, right? So when you get to the end, you're just going to play the next key over in harmonic minor scale. So let's say you're in B flat. Instead of playing A flat to B flat, you're going to play A to B. Anyway, I don't want to confuse you, but so just listen and watch. All right, so this is C harmonic minor going ascending, so going up to the higher side, and descending, coming back down. All right, here it is. Crossover under. Now A flat to B natural. Now B natural again, back to A flat. E flat to D and C. Now that really is one of those scales that is used to start to get you into that kind of Middle Eastern sound. So you really want to get comfortable with that. I think we've had a lot of people to bring in those kind of scales into hip hop music and stuff. And so the better you understand how those move, the easier you can use those. All right, there's one last scale I want to show you with the right hand, and I'm going to do all of this with the left, and that is the blues scale. All right, so for the blues scale, the fingering is going to be a little similar, but the notes are different. So a blues scale is basically constructed of a natural scale, but there's a flatted third, a flatted fifth, and a flatted seventh, right? So that would be flatted third. So this is 1, 1, 2, 3, flatted third, right? 4, 5, flatted fifth, right? And flatted seventh, which would be B flat. All right, so basically, you can skip this G if you're playing this one, but I like to play this one, so I'm going to do it. Anyway. Now, a lot of times when people are playing blues, you'll hear this sound. Right? So that's where that comes from, is your flatted third, flatted fifth, and flatted seventh scale degree. All right, so hope all of that is making sense to you. I'm going to jump over to the left hand and show you the same stuff. I'm going to stay in the same area, but I want you to be able to kind of see what's happening. Now, with the left hand, really the only major difference between the left hand and the right hand is where you're going to cross, okay? Because a crossover still happens. You have your thumb is on G, your pointer is on F. So the crossover is going to happen between G and A. And those are the piano notes, the keys that I'm playing. So you're going to play thumb on G, cross over with your middle on the A, and then play pointer and then thumb the rest out the scale. All right, so this is what C major looks like with the left hand. Cross over, pointer and thumb. Now going back, cross under onto A and then G. Pointer, or I'm sorry, yeah, ring and pinky. All right, so I'm gonna do it one more time a little bit slower. I'm gonna try to make sure you can see the stuff. So here it is. All right, now thumb on G, middle on A, pointer, then thumb. Going back, middle on A, under, thumb on G, F, E, D, and C. All right. Okay, now let's jump to those minor scales. Now remember, relative minor, which means we're playing the same black keys as E flat major. So E flat, A flat, B flat. All right. I'm going to show you all the minors, just like I did with the right hand. Okay, so here we go with natural minor. Now you cross the A flat this time, as opposed to crossing the A, under to G. Okay, all right, let's try that one more time. Cross to A flat, B flat, and then C. All right, hope that makes some sense. Okay, now let's do melodic minor. Now for melodic minor, remember this one, you start off minor, you do major in this section, and then you go back minor. So I'm not going to play A flat and B flat going up or ascending. I'm going to play B flat and A flat going down or descending. So descending is just to the left of the piano because that's the lower side. Ascending to the right or the higher side. All right, here it goes. Now we're going to play major. I'm going to go back minor. So B flat, A flat, cross under, G, F, E flat, D, and C. All right. Let's see if I can do it one more time. All right. All right, so our last scale that we're going to do is the C blues scale. All right. Now, one thing that I did not mention about the scales and the scale degrees and stuff is that basically these are a blueprint that you start with. Okay. The whole thing about playing piano is really like playing chess. It's how do you do as many moves as how do you do as many or as much as possible in as few moves as possible. And in this case, when I say moves, what I mean is having to actually lift up your hand, right? So if you have a better way of playing this stuff or you come across one, use that one because it's going to be easier. My hands are large and I've had to do a whole lot of different, not really substitutions, but variations of certain scales just to make sure that I can play it comfortably. Same thing happens with me in guitar. So it's not that it is unheard of. In fact, it's done all the time. I remember being in lessons and we talk about, well, what finger can you play with this one versus that one? Always thinking about where your fingers need to go next as opposed to where they are right now, okay? So that is the main thing is motion, getting to the next position. All right, so anyway, this is my version, because it's the one easiest for me, to play the C minor blues scale. Now remember, the blues scale, flatted third, flatted fifth, flatted seventh, right? So for this one, we're playing G flat. Now, I mentioned before that G flat and G are not absolutely necessary to play both in the scale, but I like to, so I'm going to anyway, which is why this one works for me. All right, so anyway, here it is. All right, now let's break it down a little bit. Right? All right, so see, I actually figured out an even easier way to do it while I'm doing it. So this is what we're gonna do. All right, so pinky, starting at C, C, D, E flat, you play F with your pointer, then your thumb up, cross over to G, then jump with your pointer finger to B flat, middle, cross again, right? Okay, so it's going to work. All right. Now, if you have questions or concerns, get at me. I'm open. So just let me know what you think. Anyway, I hope that helps out. I know that a lot of times I've played places before and people are like, oh, well, I don't really know, how to play like you play or how to do this or how to do that. The secret really, honestly, is to practice till your forearms hurt. And that's always going to make you 10 times better. So just make sure you're putting in the time. There's a book that says you have to put in at least 10,000 hours on anything in order to declare yourself a master of that thing. So if it's playing the piano, it's playing the guitar, if it's mixing, if it's whatever, you got to put the time in. Anyway, signing off. Hope this helps out. Talk to you.